Hey friends. So I um I got a couple things coming up that are they seem related. They don't seem totally unrelated. Um but they're coming kind of from different, they're not yet tied together. And I think, maybe part of why, as I was sitting down to do this post, they were both kind of percolating in my mind was because they are related and I have to discover how. So, one thing that has been showing up is I was thinking yesterday about orienting generalizations that hold true for my entire life. And one of them is that everything I've ever kind of passionately pursued of my own volition has had to do with healing. Whether it was healing the body, healing the emotions, healing my own sense of disconnection, healing other people from their sense of disconnection or their, sometimes it's a pain that prevents us from feeling like we can tap into our creative energy, our creative self, our deeper self. And again and again and again and again, I have been compelled, not by any external force, not by anybody convincing me or coaxing me. I've simply been internally compelled to pursue practices or information and understanding of how certain things work. And that's a helpful thing for me to note, because it's something that I can, back to my relatively recent insight. I've spoken about this in a previous post as well, but there's a good friend of mine recently summarized my approach to life by saying, Robin operates as an instrument, by which he meant an instrument plays according to the person playing it. An instrument plays according to the music that is being played. An instrument plays according to the orchestra that it finds itself in, or the band. It operates in a context, and that context determines much of what comes through. And so then, as someone for whom, let's just assume that's true, at least as a thought experiment, let's assume that's true, then what context I enter has a huge impact on what I'm actually doing, what I'm actually contributing to the world, what I'm giving. And so seeing the fact that healing is something that I've sought out again and again and again, and it's something that has just continually been a major focus for me, that's kind of a big deal. That's an example of a context in which a certain kind of energy and intelligence both enters me and issues from me. And then when I think about, what would I like my contribution to the world to be, it feels an awful lot like that's an important place to make a contribution. Like that sounds about right. If I were getting concrete and it's like, okay, you only have so much energy and so much time. How do you want to spend it? Healing on a deep level, that feels kind of right. and so that's kind of one thing that has been coming up for me. The second thing is very closely related, but it is connected in an obvious way, which you'll see in a second, but it wasn't part of the same thought process. But I noticed I woke up this morning, I did my yoga practice, then I did my Qigong practice. And my Qigong practice and my meditation practice, over the past couple days, I've been the weekend, I've had a little extra time in the morning to settle in, and I'm getting that feeling again that I haven't had since a couple of recent injuries. I'm getting that feeling that I have all the tools I need to heal. I know what I need to do nutritionally. I know what I need to do physically. I know what I need to do psychologically and emotionally and spiritually. There are practices that work. It's not faith. It's not belief. It's not superstition. It's not any kind of, hoping that something will work when I don't really know or believe that it does. It's these practices work. I watch them work. In the matter of over the course of like one day, I will feel big shifts in my body and my whole being. And now I think I see why these things are related, because this is something, for whatever reason, pursuing these various, calling them healing modalities is a little strong. Some of them are just healthy living modalities, but the result of healthy living is a capacity to heal. And having pursued these various modalities, I actually know that certain things work, where a lot of people might not know that, might believe that, might think that a Qigong practice is probably good and healthy, but might not have that concrete experience of like, this is how this thing actually affects the body and actually has an impact that's definable and clear and undeniable. So if I've got that, it's like, what am I doing with it? What can I do with that would really allow me to make a contribution, to put my instrument to work. So that's what has showed up over the past day or so, and it's really, it's remarkable how what I would call sort of the fundamental tenets or the fundamental pillars of a good life, of healthy living, they're within our control. We have to invest in them. We can't expect the return on that investment unless we make the investment. But the return on the investment is ultra reliable. It's not a speculative market. It is a 100% completely reliable way to invest our energy and our time. And our just natural wisdom, taking what our body needs. And I feel like I'm in a position to do it more gently than I have in the past. I've been very driven about pursuing the practices that I have in the past. And while that suited me at the age that I was when I was a little bit younger, and while that imprinted certain practices and skills upon me, it didn't allow for the highest expression of those skills or for the deepest understanding of what they're really doing and why and how they're so valuable. And I think that's maybe what I'm recognizing at this point in my life is what I really have and how it's kind of valuable. It's quite a valuable thing. And it's something that I would love to offer. I'd love to offer it. Makes me excited to think about offering. So that's where I am today, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate you. I'll see you very soon.